Hey, I'm Dark North. In this video, I'll be talking about the best team comps for Raiden, Shogun, Baal. So let's start with a team that maximizes her own damage, and then we'll go over other teams that include her to maximize the entire team's overall damage. So the first team to maximize Raiden Shogun's damage is Raiden, Sarah, Bennett, and Kazuha. Kazuha gives elemental damage bonus as his passive and shreds resistance with Viridescent Venerer. He can be replaced by a C6 Sucrose who also gives elemental damage bonus, but the EM she gives is kinda useless in this particular team comp. Venti can give hard crowd control and refund swirled element energy, and Jean can abuse fall damage and heal, and Sayu can roll and heal as well. Bennett gives an attack buff and heals, Sarah gives an attack buff and generates energy for the team, and that C6 also gives 60% crit damage to electro attacks, which is very powerful. Now Sarah C6 is unreplaceable as of making this video, but the attack buff she gives can only be replaced by Bennett. In place of those two, if you don't have them or they are busy in another team, you can use Mona, who can apply a Omen debuff, which makes enemies take 60% more damage at a level 10 burst, which is a lot, and can with her E enable some Electro-Charged. And having some reactions is better than having nothing at all, copium. You can also use Zhongli, who can shred resistance, give a shield, and drops a meatball for damage and petrification. Now let's move on to the teams that are more focused on overall team damage than amplifying the strengths of a singular character. We have Raiden, Eula, Diona, plus a flex, which can be Zhongli for shields and red shred, Bennett for attack buff and healing, or Sarah for attack buff, energy recharge for the team, and electro resonance for more ER, and the C6 60 crit damage for Raiden. Or an animo character for crowd control and shredding electro resistance, as you can't actually shred physical resistance with Viridescent. Because Raiden's skill essentially has no downtime as its duration is longer than the cooldown, it allows Eula to have 100% uptime on superconduct, and being a high cost burst, she gets a higher increase in her burst damage from Raiden's skill, and with Raiden's burst restoring energy for the entire team, along with a Favonius or Sacrificial Diona, your Eula should be able to have her burst every rotation. The second team is the national team but with Raiden instead. It would be Raiden, Xiangling, Xingqiu, Bennett. If you don't know or understand what the national team is or how it works, I'll be making a video on that soon, so be on the lookout for that. Xiangling, Xingqiu, Bennett by themselves have very high damage, and adding Raiden would increase their elemental burst damage and refund energy for the entire team, and thus lowering ER requirements, allowing you to build them more offensively and smoothing the rotations. While the current Abyss Disorder kinda cucks Raiden's energy regen, it's still a powerful team, and without this Leyline Disorder, this would be a very powerful team with 100% burst uptime. The third team would be with Tartaglia. It would be Raiden, Tartaglia, Xiangling, and Bennett. This would be a swap playstyle where you switch to Raiden when Tartaglia melee stance is in cooldown, and then rotate and switch back to Tartaglia and repeat. You can replace Xiangling and Bennett with Fischl and Sarah if you have them and run a Electro-Charged team instead. You can run Beidou, but unfortunately at the time of making this video, her burst does not work when you are on Raiden burst. So you need to make sure you use Beidou's burst while staying on Tartaglia or anyone else, and after that switch to Raiden for burst damage and refilling everyone's energy, and then repeat. You can replace Bennett or Sarah with a shielder or animo character if necessary, or a Mona for Omen debuff. Fourth team is Raiden Electro-Charged team. It would be Raiden, Xingqiu, and then the third slot being between Bennett, Sarah, or Mona, and the fourth slot being a shielder or a animo character. Xingqiu has very high damage output on its own and is the best Hydra applicator in the game, and allows Raiden to trigger constant Electro-Charge with her burst and her skill. Bennett gives an attack buff and healing, Sarah gives an attack buff and regens body energy and gives 60 crit damage to electro attacks at C6. Mona gives a 60% debuff with a level 10 burst. Shielders like Zhongli can shred resistance, petrify, do damage, and Diona can be a Favonius battery, a healer, and give a EM buff to the party, which is okay in an Electro-Charged team. C0 Kazuha and C6 Sucrose give elemental damage bonus, Venti refunds Swirled elemental energy and gives hard crowd control, Jean yeets enemies and heals, and Sayu rolls and heals, and all anime characters with 4 Viridescent can shred elemental resistance. So that's the best team comps in my opinion for Raiden Shogun. There's no doubt that there's more combinations that could work, and that's only going to increase as new characters get released. So I do urge you to try and test things out yourself. Nothing I've said is rigid and set in stone and you have to follow it. You can obviously change things and mess around on your own. And in my opinion, trying out new things is what makes this game fun. If you found this helpful, consider leaving a like. If you have any questions or corrections, you can leave them down below, and subscribe for more videos like these. Thanks for watching.